Nice. I see it going. What's up, guys? I am James Hake. This is the Hake Report. It is Wednesday, July, 8th, 2020. And it is 9:01 a.m. here in Los Angeles. And I will be getting to your calls. Some of you are already on hold, but you can call in 888-775-3773. Get pumped. We're going to have quite an interesting show. And I am 2 hours now, guys. Ever since last week, Wednesday, the beginning of White History Month. Right on. I should be connecting to Twitch soon if I'm not already. But thank you to everybody on Mixer, Facebook, Periscope, YouTube, and DLive. And if you're listening on the TalkStream Live, I should be on there. Or if you go to jesseleepeterson.com/show, click on the listen. You can even listen through, while I'm live, through the live audio feed on that website. Or the hakereport.com/show. I also post that thing in there. Anyways, let's get on with the show.
1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
Hey, guys!
Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la. Oh, it's the Hake Report. The Hake Report. La la la.
So, what do you guys think about whites they're attempting to make whites into history? And a caricature of history at that. What a shame. What I'm referring to in part is, you may have heard that the great philosopher, although he is an atheist, Stefan Molyneux, Canadian, has been banned not only on YouTube, but Twitter as well. YouTube banned him the 29th of June, I believe it was, which would have been less than 2 weeks ago, about a week and a half ago, I guess you would say, and maybe less. And now, yesterday, July 7th, he was banned on Twitter, suspended for quote-unquote violating Twitter policy, right? And supposedly the story goes that, actually, I don't know what, but Mike Cernovich, who's a journalist and a friend of Molyneux and all that, said that supposedly they're saying that he had multiple accounts. I have multiple accounts. What the heck? I better not say that out loud. Oh, man. I didn't know that that was against the rules. I guess they keep that one in their back pocket so that they can just ban you if they feel like it. You know, very selective enforcement. Reminds me of, Dinesh D'Souza, who did a movie called 2016, Obama's America, that came out in 2012, right? And it really exposed what Obama's about. He's like this anti-colonialist, anti-white guy. His mother hated America and white people. And even though she was white and supposedly American, she kept on marrying these Muslims. One guy from an atheist turned Muslim or Muslim turned atheist out of Kenya, Barack Obama Sr., Barack Hussein Obama Sr., I guess. And supposedly they had Barack Obama, right? Some speculate that he may have been Frank Marshall Davis's son. I don't know. But the point is, she got with him, and then he left her, I think, because how can you stand a woman like this? And then she got with an Indonesian guy who was a Muslim as well. And he brought her around, fellow Americans. I'm bringing you around your people, right? He was sort of capitalist. And she's off, these are not my people. Wow. Hater. Interesting. So he exposed Obama, and then he got this, interestingly, this ding for donating under somebody else's name on their behalf. And it was illegal. A whole lot of people do it. but only he got dinged for it, and he had to go he was incarcerated during night times or something like that. Very selective enforcement. That's corruption for you. Barack Obama's administration was very adept at enforcing the law against conservatives, the so-called law, and not on neglecting to enforce the law on the Dreamers and many other people. The black people who commit the knockout game, only a white guy was charged with the hate crime when I think he said the N-word and knocked out a white guy who got angry about the black on white crime, the knockout game. And so he did a white on black crime. And I think it was against this old black man. A white guy gets angry. The one time it happens, he gets all of the scrutiny, and no blacks get these hate crime charges. Crazy, huh? Selective enforcement, discrimination, de facto oppression of the whites. So that's what they're doing with Molyneux, with all these people who've been banned. David Duke, who's like universally slimed, and he's to me, I don't know much about him. Not that into him. He has these things. He gets on these kicks where he's complaining about the Jews, history, and stuff like that. I just couldn't get into him. And then, but he has the right to speak, but not on YouTube. And they got rid of Richard Spencer, another universally maligned guy who's like supposed to be standing up for the whites. He's like an atheist, socialist guy. He calls himself a nationalist. And but these are like nice, polite people. They try not to say anything mean or hateful. I don't even think they have to try. They're just nice people. And they got rid of so many people. It's been going on for years, honestly. It's crazy. And actually, I listened to a video by this guy who has hosted shows on Infowars.com. I think his name is Mike Adams. He had a YouTube channel that had, 2 years ago, it had over 250,000 subscribers. And according to him, it got shut down. So he went on to found this website called Brighteon. Bright Eon, E-O-N, the letter E. And then suddenly they restored his channel, apparently, after 2 years. But took down some of the videos. Interesting. And this Brighteon website is like it's an alternative free speech video platform. Kind of akin to BitChute. He spent a couple $1 million on it, too. The Health Ranger, exactly. Fan of the ladies knows. So, discrimination. We all know that it happens. We don't have the freedom of speech. And therefore, in order to be on these platforms, we play by the rules. Don't get too crazy, people in chat. If you have any love in your hearts, I will be getting to your calls, but yeah, Molyneux banned on Twitter. So he's on a Parler, Parler. I can't really get into Parler. I prefer Telegram. I'm on Telegram, the Hake Report. Jesse Lee Peterson is on Telegram, JLP Talk. And many other guys are on Telegram too. Poor Gab, I know. Gab, they're trying hard too, man. Gab is another platform. Really seemingly a nice guy, Andrew Torba. He's been on the Jesse Lee Peterson show a couple times, and they're working hard on stuff. We're there too. Jesse's active on there. For me, it's hard for me to even, so bad. Emails, tweets, DMs, all that madness. Facebook, Instagram, too hard. Maybe I should hire a guy or have a volunteer. I did have somebody helping me out, but maybe I should do that, start that up again. Joel was like, I feel you. But people understand. They see me every day. If they want to interact, they go in. I love YouTube comments. I really do. Oh, man. I mean, as long as YouTube lasts, of course, right? And maybe it will last for us. Who knows? Whatever. So, I have to share this with you guys. Hat tip to Malkuth X. He sent me this tip. And I found it fairly interesting. Speaking of discrimination, right? Against whites and bitterness and all that stuff. Don't be victims, guys. It's not good for you. Pull up masks only, whites only. There's a JPEG or PNG called that. And this was sent to me by a faithful fan of the Jesse Lee Peterson Show and Church and the Hake Report. Thank you, man. I think. Yeah, this woman says, yeah, that's right. This is was shared by somebody on social media somewhere. Apparently a black female woman. I think a woman. Aniha Nika Davis shared this meme, or whatever you want to call it, that says, people are upset at stores with signs that say, masks only. Now, imagine how it felt when it said, whites only. And I think that she has to imagine it too, because she doesn't, I have to squint to see her face, but she doesn't look like she's old enough to have experienced the whites only area. Unfortunately, honestly, because we should have the freedom to discriminate. Human beings have a right to discriminate. It's a fundamental right. And she shared this hashtag Black Lives Matter. I don't know if she's the one who came up with this scenario where you have to imagine, where you should imagine how it felt when it said whites only, or if she just came across it and decided to share it. But I was like, that's silly. For one, I'm not upset at the masks only signs, although I know people who are. I mean, I know that there are people who are. For example, that woman, the white blonde woman, according to herself, who tore apart, her soul is black. Black is in evil. I'm not talking about black as in race. Anyways, she tore down a whole bunch of masks from a store, a Target store, a display. They're trying to sell masks, and she tears it down. And then she gets in trouble, and and she says, how come you're enforcing your rules against me just because I'm white? She's implying that blacks get away with their mess, and in some cases they kind of do. But regardless, she doesn't have a right to be doing that. And other than that, I don't know anybody who is upset about this mask thing. I do know that Jesse Lee Peterson told a story of early on in this thing. He went to the bank, and it was a funny story. And he did not have a mask, and he did not have a mask on. He was not going to wear it because he's American. He's free. But, in this local establishment, they have a policy. They didn't want to let you in if you didn't have a mask. And so he put this over his shirt. He put his shirt up. No, that doesn't count. So he took his whole shirt off and tied it around and said, now I have a mask. And then they said, you have to have a shirt on. Like no shoes, no shirt, no service. And so he put it back. He put his shirt back on, and there was such a commotion. People were trying to get tough with him, and he said, you better back up to one black guy. And then the people say, oh, that's Mr. Peterson. Come here, Mr. Peterson. We'll give you a mask. And so he has a mask now. But, he's an old school boomer who wants to be free. This is America, right? But, he'll comply with the rules. He respects the establishment. They want to discriminate you if you don't wear against you if you don't wear a mask. That's fine. They have the right to discriminate against people who don't wear masks. So he wore it. He wasn't mad. And whites only, same thing. Or blacks only, same thing. Why would I want to go to an establishment where they want to only serve blacks? Okay. What if it's the only establishment around? That's not reality. There's other establishments. I can go to Vaughn's. Yeah. And they have nothing to... Well, the benefit to the mask only thing is that you can go get a mask. The drawback to the whites only thing is you can't turn white. Can you? Or can you? I guess whiteface is not a no-no. Only blackface is. That's discrimination. Ask Michael Jackson. I can't because he's dead. But yeah. And then they started to embrace him again after he died. Oh, they went, oh yeah, he's better than Elvis. Church, prior services, Sunday services with Jesse Lee Peterson, he was talking about the disgraceful display of Michael Jackson's funeral. I think it was back in 2009. It's crazy. Speaking of that, we should be having a Sunday service premiere on the Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel tonight, 5 p.m. That's my aim, right? I try to do that every Wednesday, 5 p.m. I put out online content for church, right? So, Church with Jesse Lee Peterson. Rebuildingtheman.com/church. The silent prayer is there as well. So if you ever have trouble getting to silentprayer.video, go to rebuildingtheman.com/church. Great alternative place where you can find the links to audio and video of the silent prayer. Excellent. Jesse Lee Peterson led a silent prayer in service just this past Sunday, by the way. And we put out an excerpt that included that with this man who was depressed and suicidal and all kinds of interesting stuff. He was a mess. Oh, man. And Jesse told him to stop B-wording. Don't start. Anyways, I got to move on. So, speaking of discrimination, those whites who, and then we will be getting to your calls. Hang tight, callers. If you're on hold and you hear my voice, that's fine. You should be hearing it. We'll get to you. Hang tight. My second favorite caller is already on the line. I didn't notice that was him. But those whites whom I covered yesterday, the couple, well, I call them a couple. I presume that they're a couple. When you presume, you make a pre out of you and me. But they're a pair, right? A man and a woman. They were painting over the Black Lives Matter huge lettering that was painted on the street in Martinez, California, up north of, it's kind of northeast of San Francisco. And they were charged with a hate crime. That's the update. Did you know that? They were charged with a quote-unquote hate crime. And, of course, that's just a headline, honestly, I think. This stupid DA or whatever you want to call them, acting all tough. But it's so crazy. You see this street writing in the street. It's huge lettering. It's bigger writing than, the stop sign. There's a stop, big letters stop across in the street. It's bigger than that. Twice, 3 times as big of letters as that. Maybe 4 or 5 times as big. And I have some background on the pair, but the story goes, this woman, Nicole Anderson, used a paint roller to paint over the B and the L. She was getting started painting over Black Lives Matter, right? The huge letters permitted to be painted on the road up in Martinez, California, which they claimed, USA Today claimed, was 73 or 75% white. It's not. It's 60-something% white and a bunch of Hispanics, so-called white Hispanics. This is right in front of the courthouse. What a disgrace, huh? The courthouse is supposed to be a symbol of actual justice, which, today it's not, of course. We know that. And so Black Lives Matter is a pretense, similarly, of quote-unquote justice. And we all know that it's just a pretense. They're not for actual justice. They are not for actual black lives. It's just being complainers, right? That's what it looks like, aerial view, supposedly, right? Disgraceful. So she had a paint roller painting over it. Favoritism, by the way, the Black Lives Matter supporters got a permit for it. The city permitted them to do this disgraceful hate symbol. Look at those huge letters. It even covers over part of the words stop. Look at that. Evil. So this man, David Nelson, and this woman, Nicole Anderson, decided they would go out there. The woman painted over the B and the L. You can see they painted over the painting over of it. And because she was painting black over the letters. And so they painted yellow over the black. You can still see the black bleeding through in some angles. But this man, David Nelson, said, and you heard it on the clips yesterday, the narrative of police brutality, the narrative of oppression, the narrative of racism, it's a lie. And that is so true. He also noted, effing keep America great again. That's right. Funny. And he said the BLM street mural is racism. And if you believe in racism, then you have to believe that blacks are the most racist people. Because they're encouraged to be by everybody except for the decent. Well, I don't know if these people are decent, but except for the people who are a little bit more conservative and objective, right? Onlookers screamed and cussed at them with lame statements like, until Black Lives Matter, all lives don't matter. And young Hispanic woman in pants that were too tight, whose male friend kept holding her back because she was out of control, cussing and talking about the kids in cages that Trump was putting in, you know, the illegal aliens, the fake refugees, the police knee on the neck of the black criminal suspect, George Floyd, who died in Minneapolis. So these two parties, the pro-BLM and the anti-Black Lives Matter parties, cussed at each other. And the anti-BLM people made logical points. Even the woman who was cussing and being kind of nasty, the woman who was painting over the Black Lives Matter, but she said, change the channel, because these people are listening to CNN and other mainstream media lies, right? Propaganda. They're just repeating dumb propaganda that they've been fed. So dumb officials now are running their mouths. Here's the statement from the police chief. Of course, right? A police chief is not a real cop. I mean, they supposedly are, but they're politicians, really, at heart, which is to say that they're not honest people for the most part. So this guy, Manji Sapal, he said the community spent a considerable amount of time putting the mural together, only to have it painted over in a hateful and senseless manner. I guess you could say they were hating the haters. These whites were maybe hating the people who hate whites and hate America. I guess you could say that. I think it was I guess you could call it senseless too. It was, what they were saying was sensible, but, you know, they didn't get the permit to cover over it, right? He added that the damage to the mural was divisive and hurtful. The mural itself, man, is divisive and harmful. Here's East Bay Times, according to East Bay Times, in a statement, Contra Costa County District Attorney Diana Becton, a woman, said, we must address the root and byproduct of systemic racism in our country. What? The Black Lives Matter movement is an important civil rights cause that deserves all of our attention. The mural completed last weekend was a peaceful and powerful way to communicate the importance of black lives. We must continue to elevate discussions and actually listen to one another. They're not listening to the whites. They're not listening to the conservatives. They shut you down and then said, tell you to listen. To the people who won't shut up, by the way. And heal our community and country. Disgusting woman. The mayor of Martinez, Rob Schroeder, also put out an evil statement. There was this controversy. I guess there's been a bunch of incidents in Martinez. Last week, Martinez police reported seizing flyers containing hate speech, which doesn't exist. Why would police say that, use that language? That's an anti-American language, by the way. From a downtown sidewalk. The flyers, according to this POC police chief, Manjit Sapal, it's headed with the heading Black Lives Matter, and it's addressing the fake thing called Black Lives Matter. And it reads in all caps, oh, you know what I spelled? I don't know how it's spelled.
They spelled it.
Yeah. I spell it Flyer. And they spell it Flier. Maybe both are correct, or maybe they're in NorCal. NorCal has a little bit different language. They say hella.
What the?
So Joel and I are just speaking about the English language, guys. But this guy, this police chief, said the flyers made threats of harm to those supporting Black Lives Matter movement in the name of an organization called White Pride Worldwide. And, you know, the media did not post what it actually said, but they did. I found a couple of outlets that did at least post a picture of what it said, what they actually said. Supposedly that this was put out by whites, and we don't even know if it was put out by whites, and I'll get into that. But it reads, Black Lives Matter is a terrorist organization looking to, and they misspell it, looking ought, kill white people. That's what Black Lives Matter is looking to do, according to this group of people. Black Lives Matter followers and are telling their followers to kill white people. And they misspell the word there, T-H-E-R-E. Followers to kill white people and police officers in the name of justice for the police officers killing N-word thugs in the line of duty. And they spell out the N-word. N-I-G-G-E, blah, blah, blah. Oh my gosh. These thug N-words were not innocent. They were breaking the law. So far, I haven't seen any threats against Black Lives Matter, right? But, you know, I don't even know if this was written by whites because there's so many typos. But, you know, there's some whites who will type typos and misspellings and stuff. It says, who will stand up for white people? Through unification, we will be protected. Who will protect our children? Through unification, we will be protected. Join now, fight now. We, our, I think they mean our, the chosen people. They meant chosen people. And I've never heard of white people calling themselves the chosen people, but at least not in so many words. Are we sure that's not a marked up lower third? Oh, no. No, I think that's real. Through unification, which is misspelled, we will be protected. It's with no apostrophe. It's time. It's supposed to have an apostrophe. It's time to fight for our rights. You must vote and you must protect our rights. The Second Amendment is to protect the chosen people, not the thugs. So that's what they said. And at the bottom there was this plus sign type cross. It's actually, I think, the Celtic cross, but in a square format. The bottom part of the cross is not longer. And it has a circle. Squarish Celtic cross. And it's used by the Stormfront people. And around it, it says white pride worldwide. So that's supposedly put up by whites. Who knows? Who knows what the truth is, right? But it's being investigated as a hate crime. So the dumb mayor talked about that too. But I didn't see any threats against blacks. It just said that the cops are killing the thug N-words, and they're using the full N-word for, you know, they were breaking the law. They weren't innocent, is what they were saying. So they're calling it a racist flyer. There was no racism in the flyer. If you want to believe in racism, then they did call themselves the chosen people. But lots of people call themselves that. The Jewish people call themselves that. The black Hebrew Israelites call themselves that. And even like the Christians, many Christians call Jewish people that. Brother Dean says, I actually am a racist. And he says that he says the Jewish people were the chosen people. They're the greatest race over any other race. That's what he said. Anyways, yeah, it could be real. It could not be. This is the worst they can find. It's riddled with typos, misspellings, grammatical errors, which makes me wonder whether it was really written by whites. Maybe, though. I have never heard whites call themselves the chosen people. Not in those words. I have heard people say kooky things, right? So, you know, I got to get to some calls. Oh, some background on that pair. Those people who were painting over the BLM signs. Nicole Anderson is the woman. I think she's 42. She filed in March of 2004. This was from The Smoking Gun. For a so-called domestic violence protection order against David Nelson, who's 53, the man. They were both like Trump supporters, supposedly, and painting over this Black Lives Matter sign and telling the truth that there is no racism. It's a media lie. There was a 3-year restraining order way back at that time. But, you know, honestly, if you look at her and listen to her in that video, she seems like a handful. She was cussing like crazy. More than I would have smiled upon, right? I did not approve of that part. Anyways, yeah, you could, she was cussing up a storm, and of course she was getting cussed at too, but come on, be a lady. So, just another, a little bit of the men versus women thing. Men and women hate one another. Even the whites. Yeah, so let me get to some calls and super chats. Got a lot to get to. Based AF, America First, says, diamonds for VP. I'm a verified partner on DLive, guys. Shout out to Dark Side of the Bear What and Jesse Lee Peterson for sponsoring me to be a verified partner, not gay, but on DLive.tv. You get a check mark with a circle around it, sort of reminiscent of verified liberals on Twitter. Awesome. Shout out to Dark Side of the Bear What for hosting the Hake Report. Thank you. You work hard and deserve it, says Based AF America First. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Buddy Van Cigarette says, Hank, I have pot growing in my backyard. Where are you? In Martinez, California? Isn't that amazing? Pots aren't supposed to grow, they're clay. No, I'm kidding. Dark Side of the Bear What says, gave a diamond, says, congratulations on making partner. Partner, the cowboy kind of partner, because we're out in the wild, wild west, not gay. Dark Side of the Bear What gave a diamond. Hope you like your stickers. Yeah. So with the verified, the VP status, short for verified partner, I get more stickers on dlive.tv/the Hake Report. Go join. Just at least you have it in case your favorite, say you love Periscope. Say you love YouTube or whatever. Say you love Mixer. You like watching me on Mixer, but Mixer's going to get shut down. Head on over to DLive. Mixer's getting bought by Facebook Gaming, right? Facebook Gaming. Mo Better Stand Up gave a Ninja Guinea and said, my old Soviet fleeing UC San Diego professor is on Facebook overdrive right now with his social engineering frowny face. Yeah. Dark Side of the Bear What gave a diamond and said, when you assume you make an ASS out of you and me. She's funny. Buddy Van Cigarette gave a diamond and said, Hank, I have 5 types of pot growing in my backyard. I don't know, man. Thank you for the information. I'm not interested if you're selling it or giving it away. I'm not interested. It smells awful. And the last thing I need or whites need is more vices. We got to overcome the caffeine and the alcohol and the cigarettes and the pot, right? And the sex. Well, overcome the sex, but don't overcome having babies. Because we have to have babies. Overcome not having babies, right? But get married, do it right. Don't be living together as this pair was, according to what the thing said. Oh, overcome sugar, too. That's a crazy drug. But this pair, this couple that I talked about, I call them a couple. I'm assuming that they have this romantic relationship or something. They have the same address. And don't have the same last name. It seems that even Trump supporters have fallen for the feminism on some level, which is a disgrace, right? Someone Get Bill gave a couple of diamonds. Thank you, man. And thank you to Jesse Lee Peterson for hosting the show. Appreciate it. Hot Computer Smell says, Happy White History Month, Hake. Waving. Thank you. Catch Hot Computer Smell on DLive this Friday after the Fallen State comes out, hopefully. Saved by Grace gave a sticker, said, keep it up. Danny says, I dislike the mask thing, Hake. I won't wear one. Right on to you. I personally call it a weakness, maybe. I personally like when stores have, you have to wear a mask, a sign that says that. Because then I don't walk in looking goofy wearing a mask, or walk in not wearing a mask and everybody's wearing a mask, and then I have to reach into my back pocket and pull out my bandana. Cowboy. So I like having it clear. Clear communication is good. How wide is that? And some of us need to get better at that. But I'm going to get to more. Tucker Carlson is under attack for telling the truth. It reminds me of this. And Trump is under attack for retweeting Tucker Carlson telling the truth. Right on to President Trump. Right on to Tucker Carlson. Two white history heroes, living heroes of white history. Right on. And they aren't particularly into the white thing. They are for what's right. They love America. And they're not afraid of this stupid racism lie. Right on to them for that. That's cool. How white is that? I'm referencing when I say stuff like that. How white is that? Because Jamie Foxx appeared in this evil anti-America, anti-white movie called Django Unchained, which was by this guy who hates guns. He's a softie. He's a liberal. Quentin Tarantino. His father's smart. He's a Trump supporter, and he supports Joe Arpaio. His father does. Quentin Tarantino. His father is smart, but the son is dumb. Shout out to Asmodor for hosting the Hake Report too on DLive. Thank you, man. But Quentin Tarantino had what's his name? Jamie Foxx, this black comedian actor guy. He's okay, I guess, sometimes. Star in this movie, and he says, I get to shoot whites. I'm a slave, and I have to get to shoot whites. He said a bunch of different things, right? How black is, and he would say, how black is that? How black is that? And then after he said he gets to shoot whites, I think he said, how awesome is that? What? That was years ago. And so when I'm saying how white is that, I'm thinking of I think of Jamie Foxx. Anyways, let me get to my second favorite caller who's on the line. Speaking of some of the worst examples of racism, Amy Cooper, who is maliciously called Central Park Karen for calling the cops on a guy who tried to steal her dog, or pretended to try to steal her dog, a black guy, because she was not leashing her dog. And it was a disagreement between two liberal, female-minded, petty people. There's Christian Cooper, the birder. Big guy. And then she's calling the cops on a fellow liberal. Choking the dog. Lynching that poor cocker. Is that a cocker spaniel? She wasn't aware of what she was doing. Let me get to Earl out of Michigan. I covered Amy Cooper and told you that the great lawyer... Earl, you're on the line. The great lawyer, what's that guy's name again? Is representing her. That's cool. I love that. Earl, how are you doing? Robert Barnes is that lawyer who's representing her, and he says that she will be acquitted. I hope he's right. Anyways,
Senor Hank.
hey, how are you doing? Buenos dias. That's Spanish for good morning. In some parts of the country, it is already afternoon. Earl, are you outside? I keep on hearing like wind coming across your phone.
That's compressor air conditioner.
Wow. Well, don't be sitting right in the air conditioning wind. Can you get out of the air conditioner breeze? Much better.
I can.
Much better, man. I appreciate that. That's cool. You still...
That's Senor Hank.
Hola.
I'll tell you why the Amy Cooper situation is not trivial.
Okay.
Because it has a long history of white women causing the demise and sometimes lynching and killing of blacks on their accusations alone.
You know what? I don't necessarily disagree with that. That may well be, because it's not beneath a white woman to make a false accusation. We've seen it with the Me Too movement. And sometimes, there were lynchings in which blacks and whites were hanged and killed without a trial. It was based on an accusation. they thought that it was true. I would hope that they at least believed that it was true, you know? I would hope that they would not knowingly kill somebody based off of a false accusation, such as the blacks are wanting to do
back
today.
then, it didn't make any difference. Just a pure accusation of a white woman over a black was sufficient.
Yeah, and isn't that
you
a shame that blacks have become like that towards whites today?
Well, I don't know all about that.
Yeah,
But,
and then okay, let me tell you another example of the lynch mob today. The culture at large believes the woman who just accuses the man without evidence. Have you noticed that? They did that to Bill.
I know you like.
They did that to Bill Cosby.
like
We'll get back to your
well-
point. We'll get back to your point. But have you noticed that that's going on today? That evil human nature against men. They make an accusation against the man, and people have to pretend to believe it.
Well, in some cases it's true. In some cases it's a false accusation. You gotta
Right.
take
Same
take
thing
each
with the
case-
lynchings back then,
case
huh?
by case. No, back then it was a done deal. Blacks didn't have rights. They were
Neither do men.
hauled before-
Neither do men or whites today.
they were hauled before all white jurors.
You agree
and
with
so
me?
forth. It was already done.
Yeah.
You can go back to Jim Crow.
You know,
when,
too, that there was a double reason for it. Usually, these lynchings were a result of accusations or suspicion of rape, robbery, or murder, and also the communities were separated. Right, the blacks and the whites were separated because they knew that there is suspicion breeding between them, and so when one allegedly commits a crime against the other group, they're tribal, right? They see that as an attack from the black community on the white community. So the men of the town got riled up and tried to enforce the law or their law or defend their community and formed a lynch mob. And you see that today with the blacks forming a lynch mob against innocent whites. Crazy, huh? So I definitely believe that there were innocent black men who were lynched off of a false accusation by a white woman. I'm sure that may well have been. But hey,
let's don't forget the power dynamics back then.
Power
blacks
dynamics.
Didn't lynch the blacks because of whites raping black women. There never was blacks going out lynching white folks, grabbing them, and mobs pulling white folks from the house, from the jail.
But hold on, Earl. But there are today.
They're not going to jailhouses and pulling them out and so forth.
They would love to do that.
That's one of the primary charges in the black codes that the South used to use against blacks, or some disrespect claimed by a white woman and so forth.
So Earl, if you have such a clear view of history, how come you're so dull when it comes to present day reality?
Because that's your white spin on everything.
No, it's not a white. It's a true spin on it. Maybe that is white. Is it white to be believing in the truth? Maybe it is.
If you listen to you would believe blacks run the country. That they're in charge of every organization, institution, and everything.
No, I think they're useful. They're
country.
useful idiots for those people.
And so
some of them are, but some of them are not.
No, the power dynamic.
You're just making up stuff about me.
No, you preach white grievances like they're losing.
And by the way, hold on, Earl. By the way, whites rarely, if ever, according to Asmodor, whites never raped black women. Look at FBI stats, and that's true. They couldn't even in 2008, which is the last time they counted, the last time they ever counted, they couldn't find one. But they found 20,000 or 40,000 cases of blacks raping whites in 1 year. I think it was 23,000 or something like that, of blacks raping whites or sexual assault, right? And this is according to criminal victimization surveys. So maybe in some of those cases, there might have been a white woman just making something up. Very possible. But In that year, there were no cases that they could find of a white raping or sexually assaulting a black. So now you're just making up stuff.
Am I?
Yeah.
How you think?
You made stuff up about me. You think that I think that blacks run the country.
No.
In some senses, they do. Yeah.
I'm saying the way you talk.
Black Lives Matter definitely pushes the country around.
That they are in charge of everything, every institution. You would think they're in charge of every Fortune 500 company.
Yeah, they're kissing up to
the politics, and where whites dominate every institution that's important in these United States. Let's
Not
get
true.
that clear.
Not true.
Yes, it does.
No, it's
Name
not.
something they don't dominate. They're
not white.
dominate.
They're not whites, and they're not Christians.
Name something they don't dominate.
Everything.
If it's the military.
Everything. Hold on.
If it's institutions.
Earl, be quiet. Let me say something. Aznavour gave a Ninja Guinea and
You're
said,
always saying something. You be
thank
quiet.
you. Appreciate it. Aznavour gave a Ninja Guinea and says, black on white rapes. Blacks rape close to 40,000 white women per year on average, according to the stats. White on black, 0. Now.
How you think blacks have to be mulatto, Creole, and quadroon?
Interracial marriage, dude.
No.
Yes.
Interracial marriage was illegal back then.
But they still did it, dude.
Learn your history.
They still did it, man.
And since
you need to read. Hold on, Earl.
Your boy Joya from Louisiana. French is Creole.
My boy.
From mixture of French and black. Did you know that?
Right, I know that. French and black,
forth.
beyond Z.
And you know there were laws back there where blacks couldn't marry. That's why the Lovington case was so important.
Now, Earl, you're moving too fast. Let me stop you there. You can get to Lovington in a sec, okay? If I feel generous with my time. But you said that it was against the law, but they were still doing it. There was like this case of if you read The Antidote, Healing America from the Poison of Hate, Blame, and Victimhood by Jesse Lee Peterson, which came out in 2015, he talked about this so-called open-minded Irish farmer who married a black woman, and they came out with somebody, it might have even been Cassius Clay, if I'm not mistaken, or it might have been like Malcolm X. No, I think it might have been Cassius Clay. I don't remember, but he covered that. There's many cases where there was interracial dating and marriage and all that stuff.
Even before then, whites were raping black women.
You don't know that. You're just saying that.
All along, there's records of it.
Who cares what you're talking about? No. I'm not listening to this, Earl. I'm not listening to this.
Years back.
Blah, 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 blah.
You too.
La, 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 la.
Ignorant.
La, la.
You just want to hear what you want to hear.
Yeah, because it's reality is reality.
You don't know the facts, fool.
Reality,
because
fool.
It doesn't help your point.
Yes, it does. Yes, it does, because blacks are worse today. I'm putting you on hold. Earl is on hold. Earl, you're on hold. The reality is, Earl, you're on hold. Today, black on white crime, way worse. I don't know about what happened back then. Neither does he. There's a whole lot of propaganda about history. There's many cases where whites did blacks wrong. There were many cases where blacks did whites wrong. Many of those cases resulted in lynchings, in which blacks did whites wrong, whites retaliated with a lynching. In many cases, I'm sure there was like wrong on both sides, but he doesn't want to acknowledge it. And present day reality, this guy has no clue. What a sucker. And he's like, oh, according to Jesse Lee Peterson, he's like 80 or 90. So Earl.
That's why you get everything wrong and you spin everything.
No,
and when somebody
you're the spinner.
Then you try to discredit
this woman. Hold on. It's very typical of a woman of any color to overreact when they feel like, oh, this is weird. And it is weird. You have to admit for a man, especially like a grown-looking black man, to be coaxing a white woman's dog over to him because the dog is unleashed and he has a doggy treat, but he has no dog and he's wearing a bicycle helmet. That's a weird situation. And it's not beneath a white woman to overreact to such a thing and take that as a threat. So now,
let's get it straight, James. Stop with all the nonsense and the make-believe stuff.
yeah, exactly.
When she called the
That's what I
police,
did.
she tried to appear frantic, like she was being attacked. She knew exactly how that would play with the police had they showed up.
Right, because she's
And
trying to
had they
protect
shown
her
up,
life.
And had they shown up, they would have took her word for it, and things could have escalated from bad to worse, and we could be talking about a dead black person.
No,
and you'd
it
be defending
wouldn't.
What the white woman
You're such
said and did.
you're such a melodramatic. You're the one venturing into imaginary worlds.
That's why I told you about the history.
No.
About Emmett Till.
That is so
about
silly.
The Scarberry Boys.
Hey,
the Sudbury Boys.
be quiet, Earl. Earl, calm down, okay? So, you claimed that this man, who's a very well-behaved liberal black man, you're pretending that if the cops had shown up, that he could have gotten killed. That is such a lie. That guy was so well-behaved. He was pretty calm
that
throughout
sounds
this.
like a
No.
typical
Hey,
black person.
I'm putting you on hold. He can't listen. That man would not. I'm pointing to the screen, right? That Christian Cooper guy, there was no way he would get himself killed unless he overreacted to the cops, which is how these guys get themselves killed. And I don't see it. And plus, that's speculation. That's going into your imagination, Earl. You're not living in reality, Earl.
On black folks. That's why you think you're an expert. That's the biggest joke. You talk about, for instance, Bubba Wallace.
Hey, Earl. Earl.
When did you become an expert on who's black?
Earl. Okay.
Fool, James.
Last statement from me, and then I'm hanging up. He said, please call the cops. He said it. Now, goodbye. Take care, man. That's a great point, Nick. She's I'm calling the police. And he said, please call the police. If he was really scared of the cops, he would not say, please call the police. Dummy. Great point. Speaking of Amy Cooper, I gotta get to Kenny out of Idaho. Kenny, how are you doing?
Get right on. Good morning. Hey, great call by that last caller. Earl.
Right.
I sometimes bring biscuits with me, and it's partly because there's some people disregard the leash laws and stuff. But
That's what he said.
I never confront the folks because I was an idiot once before in my recent past, where, they have you clean up your own doggy's feces. So
right.
I didn't think that was really going to go catch on, so I didn't participate back in the day. But then it became illegal, not only a socially responsible thing, but a legally prosecutable thing. Well, a fine situation. So
yeah, you're supposed to leash your dog.
yeah, well, we should be citizens. If you see somebody out of line, if you can muster the diplomacy
Right.
and present their error strategically, then they won't they won't lash out at you.
Right.
And in a similar regard, they being able to think clearly about what you wanted. Like if, say, I'm sure it happened in the olden days, there was a white guy and he wanted to rape a black girl. It's possible that they tend to have more smarts and are more likely to get away with it. But heaven forbid that they were advanced to a murder in increasing their odds of getting away with it.
Right, exactly.
So we also have that. But we should put a GoFundMe for Earl to have his own show. I don't think you can put him on for your whole hour, could you?
No, I couldn't. But I don't know. He needs help for sure. But I don't think that I can help him.
Yeah, we wouldn't.
He needs to have some, he needs some sense, and he doesn't have sense. It's kind of typical nowadays. I don't know if it used to be like that. I'm told that it wasn't like that before. But these people are so phony. And he's a sucker for phony people. And he listens to my show all the time, and yet he still has no sense.
Well, he's making some headway. I mean, there's folks like me who cry, whose hearts are bleeding at home, listening to the interaction, and if it wasn't for the fact that I was once ignorant, I think it was Earl. He one time made a comment on Jesse's show about one particular aspect of female anatomy, and Jesse just changed the subject.
Right.
But I'll never forget that. It was either Earl or T, but
it's crazy.
I could totally relate. You know, he has a desire to have his perversion express it as though it's eventually going to be mainstream, and everybody will be doing it.
Yeah, that's weird, man.
You shouldn't. I mean, you wake up. Eventually, you wake up and you see that. That's bad. And my grandma used to tell me swearing, curse words was bad, and I never entertained the idea why until I grew up. I became a man. Yeah. And I realized that there's some things society just says don't do it, and they don't really kind of spell it out for you. This is going to protect you.
It's so nice to have somebody with common sense telling you don't have sex out of wedlock, and here's part of the reason why, right? Because I think we kind of all know that it's wrong. I think everybody knows kind of that it's wrong, but they're taught this false version of Christianity where it's just a bunch of rules and the mother's the one imposing the rules most of the time on us, right? Because for me, I was taught by my mother. But this sex out of wedlock stuff is wrong. And I didn't even know what it was. But it's so nice to have somebody with common sense. This is what happens. It turns upside down. Instead of God over man over woman, it's Satan over woman over man. And that's really what's happening. It's cool to know.
I guess that's what's happening. You nailed it on the head.
Yeah.
You keep up the good work, I guess.
Appreciate you, Kenny.
Yeah.
Thanks, man.
Yeah, have a great day.
You too. Take care.
All right.
Guys, if I seem a little distracted, I'm preparing a nice little bumper music to play on the bottom of the hour. Let's see if I can make it happen in time. Cool. So, anyways, let me get to Rick out of Hampton, Virginia in the meantime. Rick, how are you doing?
James, I'm doing fine, my brother. How you doing?
I'm doing fine as well.
Good, man. I'm glad y'all got that video of that. Wasn't that in Michigan? The white lady helped me pull the gun up on those two black girls. I mean,
I haven't even looked into that story, but it was I just saw it as just another story where this woman is getting harassed by these blacks, and she pulls a gun on them, and they're like, "Whoa, that's not good. That's racist, lady." And I think they accused her of being racist, and she pulled a gun on them.
Yeah, they did.
Tell the people the story in brief.
Just tell the story.
Yeah, tell the story in brief. Or do you know it, Joel? Where the white lady pulled the gun on the blacks?
Oh, we played it on the show.
Can you tell the story? Because I wasn't paying attention when we played it on the show.
Well, all we see in the very beginning of the clip is the girl and the lady arguing. Yeah. And then the black lady is, she's getting loud. And then, the white lady is basically trying to, say, I'm not, being racist. I'm not, doing anything. Why are you in my face? Right. And the black lady, just keeps pushing it. And then eventually, the husband comes, and the husband is like, I seen what you did. You know, you guys are wrong. Anyways, the black people keep going crazy. The white people get in the car and they try to pull off, but the black lady gets behind the car so they can't go anywhere.
What the heck? With her body?
With her body.
Dang.
And then they try to back up, so then she tries to pretend like they try to hit her. So then she starts banging on the car and I guess makes her way back around to the front, and then the white lady gets out and she has a gun on her.
Dang.
So she pulls her gun out like, back up.
Yeah.
And then the black young girl starts crying, saying like, you can't pull a gun out on us. So it just a mess.
Wow. Did they get investigated or prosecuted or anything?
Apparently, according to Nick, the white people were charged.
That's felonious assault, according to Time magazine. And the black woman was all like, according to Nick, I'll beat you MFing
Right.
A.
Yeah.
I almost. And I don't cuss that much.
Oh,
we lost Rick.
Well,
I was about to get back to you, Rick. But yeah, what were they saying?
They were saying all kinds of, calling them names, racist, MF, and all this stuff. But then they were accusing the white people of being hateful, racist. And it's like, you calling all these names. And that's what the husband said. He was like, how are we racist and you're the one calling us all these names?
Right. And it's so, I mean, it reminds me of that black guy who seemed to be mentally and spiritually ill. He was calling them racist crackers.
Which one?
There were these whites on a field trip somewhere in some city, D.C. or New York or whatever.
Oh,
and
yeah.
we just played it on Jesse
Yeah.
Lee Peterson's show.
Yeah.
I referenced it yesterday. This black guy, he's like mentally off, saying, you're racist. No, I'm not. Either you're deluded or you're stupid. Which one is it? Calling them crackers.
Crazy.
That is nuts. But yeah, so the whites are getting punished for defending themselves. And they don't even actually commit any violence. They just brandish a gun. That's crazy. So anyways, we're over the first hour. I put in a little clip, Joel, for, it's named 12. And hopefully this plays for you. I'll be back in a few minutes. We're going 2 hours, guys. Get ready. And then I will get back to, Rick got back on the line. I'll get back to you, Rick. And I just put it in there. So if you refresh, let me know if you see it. I'm going to be playing some nice, really? Hold on. Let me drag it in. Replace. Oh, because I didn't put it in the right one. No. I put it in my own folder. It's crazy. So, let me know when you see it. I just dragged in. Now. Rick, I'm going to get back to you. I got to take a break. In the meantime, enjoy this white music. Christian punk. Get on with the show break, and I'll be back in a few, guys. Appreciate it. Thanks.
I got one question, why? Planned Parenthood, you ain't no good. You only plan to brainwash the nation. Planned Parenthood, you ain't no good. You justify murder and fornication. Please tell my boy to wear a condom. 12 years old had to take your course. Mandatory sex ed in the school. You're coming in like a Trojan horse. Well, I'm not afraid to tell my kid about sex, but you want to teach her to play. You give her pills, pay to kill her, baby. You're gonna pay yourself someday. Planned Parenthood.
away.
Let me tell you about a friend of mine. How he went and lost his mind. He tried to find love in a little pill. He didn't know that it was from the devil. He went to an underground rave. He felt like he was trapped in a cave. Someone gave him something to set his mind free. He took that evil ecstasy. E is for evil, can't you see? But they lie and call it ecstasy. E is for evil, don't you know? It was made in the lives of hell below. He lost his sense of morality. Like an animal was all it could be. He woke up naked in a stranger's bed with a man and a woman, both were dead. He is for evil, can you see? But they lie and call it ecstasy. E is for evil, don't you know? It was made in the lives of hell below. The only time to lose control is when you give God your soul. But if you want to take a trip to hell, ecstasy will do the job well. Your life will be filled with hate and sin unless you let Jesus enter in. Only he can satisfy you, and I know he will. But you'll never find love in a little pill. Oh no!
I am back, guys. It is the second hour. Hope you enjoyed the music. If it was too loud, I apologize. Press 2. And I will be playing, I'll get back to playing normal music soon. I want to play some Joel Friday stuff, some Trevor stuff, some other things. There's some great music that we have. And also, Bub's Love. I am going to be playing a remix by Bub's Love featuring me and Hot Computer Smell, I think. It's cool. So, I'm going to get to... Oh, Rick is gone. Okay. I'm going to get to your calls, 888-775-3773. The lines are full right now. So if you call in right now, you get a busy signal, apologies. I will get to your calls, but quickly, I want to cover a man who's standing up for what's right. Tucker Carlson. So, you know, you basically got the gist of what went on in that. That was a Chipotle parking lot, right? With the white couple that had to pull a gun on the black supposed family. Well, the whites are prosecuted for felonious assault. What a shame. What a shame for defending themselves. You can't defend yourself if you're white. It's crazy. Reminds me of South Africa. So, don't get mad, get smart. Oh, I'm going to cover... anyways. Hope you like the beautiful music. Rest in peace to Charlie Daniels, speaking of beautiful music. But let me play for you this clip. I have this clip, 11A, Joel. Get that ready. Tucker Carlson and Donald Trump, the president. Tucker Carlson, the best host on TV right now. On the television, right? Cable television. Are under attack for spreading the truth. It reminds me of 4 or 5 years ago. And I'm going to get to that. But this Democrat veteran and Purple Heart recipient, Tammy Duckworth, looks like a WOC, a woman of color. A possible Joe Biden pick. She had her legs blown off in a war. This is her in like 2005 or so. Looks like she might be, I don't know what she is. Ambiguous. Looks like Nick. Just kidding. There she is. She has legs there. That was 2005, but she got them blown off in a crazy situation over in Iraq. And now, because that happened and because she's a politician, we have to pretend that here she is being honored by Obama back in the day. And she's in a wheelchair because her legs were blown off in a war. Women in the military. Men get their legs blown off too, right? But not a good idea. And they're getting all kinds of, they're putting homosexuals in the military and transgenders in the military. Trump is saying, oh, you know what? Transgenders, we shouldn't do that. It's crazy. I read about this in Hake News today, hour 2. Some dumb politics. Here is a little bit about Tammy Duckworth and by Tucker Carlson. He did this on his show. He said this stuff on his show, what you're about to hear. And President Trump tweeted this video out. Here's a segment of the video that Trump tweeted out from Tucker Carlson on Fox News. The redeeming show of Fox News. The redeeming show. Here, listen to this.
Senator Tammy Duckworth of Illinois is a top contender for the job. You're not supposed to criticize Tammy Duckworth in any way because she once served in the military. Most people just ignore her. But when Duckworth does speak in public, you're reminded what a deeply silly and unimpressive person she is. Here's Tammy Duckworth from over the weekend telling us it's time to get rid of George Washington.
I know that you support changing the name of military bases named after Confederate leaders, but there are leaders like George Washington and Thomas Jefferson who were slave owners, and some people are demanding that their monuments come down too. So in your view, where does it end? Should statues, for example, of George Washington come down?
Well, let me just say that we should start off by having a national dialogue on it at some point.
A national dialogue, please. They're not looking for any kind of colloquy. What they want is a soliloquy. We speak, you shut up and listen.
And he's right about that. They always talk, we need to have a dialogue. We need to have an honest dialogue about race. But when the whites get honest, they get banned. They get suspended. They get censured even in Congress. It's crazy. She went on and said, but right now we're in the middle of a global pandemic. This is her on CNN, this Tammy Duckworth woman, Democrat, adding that what really struck me about the speech, referring to the president's 4th of July speech, that he gave at Mount Rushmore, which he gave on the 3rd of July on Friday, beautiful speech, was that he spent more time worried about honoring dead Confederates. I mean, his priorities are all wrong here. He spent his time talking about dead traitors. That's how she refers to the Confederates, as traitors. That's rich coming from a Democrat. The Democrats are disgusting, evil, hateful people. They hate America. And Tucker Carlson agrees with me. She's Tammy Duckworth. Is she a POC? Looks like it. She said that during the CNN interview. Here's Tucker saying that Democrats hate the country, and they do. Listen to this.
Loving the people you lead, caring deeply about them, is the most basic prerequisite of leadership. The leaders of today's Democratic Party do not. They despise this country. They have said so. They continue to. That is shocking, but it is also disqualifying. We cannot let them run this nation because they hate it. Imagine what they would do to it.
That's true. And then the fake AP News, the Daily Mail, Tucker ignites a firestorm by attacking a woman who's gotten her legs blown off, right? Duckworth previously deployed to Iraq with the Illinois Army National Guard and lost both her legs after her helicopter was struck by a rocket-propelled grenade. Reminds me of several decades after John McCain, the Rhino, was reportedly tortured. Supposedly, right? They were still hiding behind that. He's a war hero. You can't say that he was a loser. They're very selective about whom they honor, by the way. And that's not real honor. Carlson got doubled down. Tucker Carlson doubled down after that. In the following night or whatever, the last night maybe it was, according to Business Insider shared by Yahoo News, Drudge shared it. He called her a moron and a coward. Tucker Carlson doubled down on his criticisms of Democrat Senator Tammy Duckworth from the previous night, claiming she was a moron who was hating America. And that's true. She just smeared the Confederates. Those are Americans. They're not traitors. They wanted to go away from America. They wanted to break away because they felt oppressed, but then we fought a war to bring them back. So why are you going to turn around and call them traitors? Most of them were not traitors. You think you know more than Abraham Lincoln and all those people that ran the Union back then? You don't. You're dumb. You're evil. But she would do that. You know, they want to have a conversation about taking down slave owners as if slave owning is any worse than being a Democrat today. It's not. It's better than being a Democrat today. The Democrats are for everything evil. They're for slavery. They're for socialism is slavery. But they just spoil you, though, so you don't notice. Carlson's called her a fraud, just like John McCain was a fraud, and claimed that she was using her military service background since she was once injured to drown out his criticism. And that's true. Trump tweeted out the videos of Fox News host Tucker Carlson, right on, criticizing Duckworth and defending his beautiful speech, pro-America speech. Pro-history, real history, not these haters, evil people. And he followed it up with his campaign followed it up with a statement criticizing Duckworth for using her military service to deflect from her support for the left-wing campaign to villainize America's founding. Coward, she's a coward. And thankfully, Trump is not a coward, and neither is Tucker Carlson. Here's the dumb response from the Biden campaign, because the Biden campaign wants a woman of color, right? To be vice president pick, or definitely a woman. Tucker Carlson and his colleagues who traffic in hate speech. There's that buzzword from the Biden campaign, hate speech. That's an un-American word. If you believe in hate speech, you don't believe in America. You don't believe in free speech. You don't believe in truth, by the way, either. Because most of the time when you're accused of hate speech, you're telling the truth. Most of the time. Hate speech masquerading as journalism. That's what they say Tucker Carlson is. Are accomplices to Donald Trump's perverse mission to use division and bitterness to tear this country apart. Isn't that rich? Use division and bitterness to tear this country apart. That is what Black Lives Matter is doing. That is what the Democrats have been doing. That is what the rhinos are kissing up to, because they're rhinos, Republicans in name only, of which the Republican Party is almost fully infected with, almost 100% rhinos. 99.9, I don't know. Maybe I'm overestimating. I don't think so, though. Because weakness is evil, and it enables evil. And that's what so many of us are, is weak when it comes down to it. You can say the right stuff, but when it comes down to it, that was Biden campaign spokesman T.J. Ducklow. It is the polar opposite of what Joe Biden stands for, division and bitterness tearing apart the country. Yeah, right. He campaigned on the lie of Charlottesville, the smear upon the whites who were standing for not taking down General Lee, who was an honorable man. An American, by the way. Served America very well before and after the Civil War. And even during it, he was being faithful to his state, which is what you're supposed to do back then. And this is exactly what Joe Biden means when he talks about a battle for the soul of America. There's that stupid, what do you call that? A cliche, a battle for the soul of America. Joe Biden doesn't have a soul. Not a clean one anyways. He is a sick, evil person. Sick spiritually. And maybe mentally, I don't know. It's crazy. So I wanted to share that with you. Right on to Tucker Carlson. It is White History Month. I don't know if he's celebrating. Maybe he is celebrating privately. right on to Tucker if you're watching right now. Let me get to my favorite caller. She wants to talk about that Chipotle parking lot situation in which the whites got in trouble for defending themselves. What else are you supposed to do when these blacks won't even let you leave? What the heck? In your own car. Anyways, let me get to Maze. Maze out of Dayton, Ohio. What's up?
Hello, James. How are you today?
I'm doing fine. How are you?
Did you? Well, we talk to Carlson, and then I want to talk about Rick and his videos. He want to show you.
All right. We'll see what we have time for.
He's an embarrassment to himself. Well, Tucker, what do he have to show for what he did for his country besides running his lips?
He is speaking the truth. Hold on, Mace. Speaking the truth without fear is a powerful statement, especially when he doesn't apologize and back down. So right on to him. And who knows what else he's doing, but he's raising seemingly a decent family. And
so Tammy has no legs because she was serving her country.
Supposedly, I don't know that she was serving her country.
Well,
that's just a saying.
When she was doing it, so
that's just words. So-called serving her country.
Let's get back to talking.
No. No, I'm not letting you get away with calling that serving your country. I don't know that she was serving her country. She definitely isn't. Hold on. She's definitely not serving her country today. She's helping destroy her country. And I don't even know if this is really her country.
No.
Is she an anchor baby?
If you're looking at her, that's why she doesn't have any legs, because she was serving her country.
No,
right?
no, not true.
In her uniform.
Nope. I don't accept that. I don't know why she lost her legs. They fired a grenade at her, a rocket-propelled grenade at her helicopter, according to the story. Was she serving her country, or was she serving... Hold on, Mace. Was she serving her country, or was she serving herself?
No, she was serving her country.
No. I don't buy that.
So she was
She's definitely not... Whatever happened back then... Hold on, Maze. Whatever happened back then, she's not serving her country today.
That's what she's known for.
No, she's known for being a politician today.
So now let's get to talking.
Nope.
Now, Tucker's only known for one.
No, she's not known for serving her country. She's not known for losing her legs serving her country. She's known for hiding behind having lost her legs as a politician, a phony one at that.
Explain how she lost her legs, James, if she didn't do it in uniform.
She did it in uniform, not serving her country. Not necessarily serving her country. It wasn't necessarily serving her country.
Your man say so.
It's the truth. You think that everybody who served in the military and got injured, quote unquote, serving their country?
I said the difference between her and Tucker. What is her
Tucker, hold on, Maze. Hold on. Tucker is putting a lot of value into the world by telling the truth. There are a lot of people paying to have his show go on. It is employing a lot of people, and he's standing for what's right. That is a beautiful thing. Tammy's not doing anything of the sort. She's standing on hating America.
I'm asking you, what is Tucker known from? Moving from one station to another one. Before he was on Fox, where was he?
It's maybe CNN or something. Years ago.
That's how he's known.
Years ago.
And he still got his
Nobody remembers that except for me. No, oh yeah, I said standing. Sitting.
So that's between the two. And you see her and you see him, it's a story.
That was back when CNN had a modicum of respectability.
CNN is the same as it was at the time.
No, it's not. That is so ridiculous.
And your man is not.
No, it's not. Name me a Tucker Carlson who is on CNN today. Name me somebody who is as bold and truthful as Tucker Carlson who's on CNN today.
All the ones that left Fox and went over to CNN, still the same people, just for the money.
The ones who left Fox and went to CNN are man-haters. They're females.
Left Fox? Where are they? Where are some of them?
They went to...
And all those people.
Maze, get out of here.
No, so let me get to Rick.
All right.
Okay, answer. Rick always bring you videos. But why don't he bring you videos showing people look like you? This White History Month. You're supposed to be focusing on White History Month and white people.
Yep.
Not focusing on him pushing white people into something. He's messed up in the head.
If he wanted to call about that, that's fine. Those were... Hold on, Mace. This is part of white history. Today in white history, this is history right now, being made before our eyes. Whites being prosecuted for assault, felonious assault, for defending themselves against aggressive blacks.
But see, that's like I say, aggressive blacks, like it's still on the books in the state where Jesse was born, that blacks and whites could not marry. It's still on the books. They haven't taken it off.
And So what?
So you were saying it was not by the mulatto kids and all the kids came out because of what reason?
Because they interracially married.
Really, you don't know they didn't.
Yes, they did.
Learn your history from that too.
Yes, they did marry.
It's in your marrying.
They were marrying well before those laws. Hold on, Mace. Hold on, Mace. They were marrying before, during, and since those laws went into effect.
It was against the law. It's not.
And that doesn't mean they weren't marrying.
In Justice State.
Hold on, Mace. It doesn't mean they were not marrying. You're pretending. Earl, the liar, was pretending that blacks. Hold on, Mace. Shh.
It hurt. Go ahead.
They were pretending that mixed race blacks only came from rape. That's what he was pretending. What a sucker.
Did he say all or some?
He said they came from rape. Where do you think all these people came from? I said interracial marriage.
I'm saying some of them did come from that.
I said interracial marriage.
People do their family,
you made the claim that they were not interracially marrying just because it was illegal.
On the law, I said still on the books.
It doesn't matter. The point is they were interracially married, Mace.
In the place where Jesse was born, it's still on the books.
And what do you? Hold on, Mace. If you're so anti-rape, how come you aren't speaking against the black-on-white rapes that are taking place?
The same reason that you're not speaking on everybody rape. Cause look at Fox.
Because hold on, Mace. According to the statistics, blacks are like 3 times more likely. Hold on, Mace. Blacks are 3 times more likely to quote unquote be accused of rape or sexual assault against their own race than whites against their own race.
If you say so.
Yes, per capita, I do say so. It's a fact.
But I'm gonna say those are.
Hold on. I'm not done. And interracially, blacks are more likely to rape whites than whites are blacks. By far. It's not even close. It's a joke. It's a joke that you people try to bring up slave owners raping the slaves. Yeah, right.
Can I give
you the
joke? Can I give you the joke?
Okay.
Okay, it's like you come down to this virus, more black people got it. When it come down to everything, y'all Caucasian tell us
more black people didn't get it.
What'd you say?
More black people didn't get it.
You said they dying from it. And all this
more per capita.
Why do y'all think y'all sound when y'all say stuff like that?
It sounds like we're telling the truth.
Ridiculous. It's like
it sounds like we're telling the truth, Maze, and you can't handle it.
You tell us the truth. You try to tell us the truth about well, when it comes to
you can't handle the truth, Maze.
You can do the same job.
That's why you call in all mad when
I'm not mad. I'm happy.
When I or Bible Go-To guy or Greg from Wilmington or anybody tells the truth about blacks. Yep.
Calm down, Jay.
I gotta go. Anyways. What a mess. I got to read some super chats. Asmodor says more whites were lynched by the numbers than black. Interesting. I did not know that. But look it up, guys. Mo better stand up. It may be hard to find the information, too, because they do cover it up, the information. According to the Tuskegee Institute stuff that I saw, it was a third of them, or more than a quarter of those documented by the Tuskegee Institute, were across 80 years, and it wasn't that many who were lynched. Many people in general, it was just a few thousand. Were white. More than a quarter, almost like a third, were white. But Asmodor may have other information that shows that it was even more. And blacks committed rapes. They committed lynchings. According to this, what I've read, they didn't document it because they were illiterate, whereas the whites would document the crime. Say, date and crime. Mo Better Stand Up says, diamonds and Earls and Asmodor's today, lucky day. Asmodor says, the white woman is the one getting lynched. Yep. Referring to Amy Cooper. But fortunately, she has a decent lawyer, and hopefully she will get off. And what about that white woman who pointed a gun at the blacks who wouldn't back off or let them leave? Crazy. The white woman is pregnant. I'm not sure what... Oh, is that the one with the gun? Crazy. Mo Better Stand Up gave a diamond and said, diamond for Joel. Give us a fresh new Hake outro. Big smiley face. How come you didn't tell Earl about my pot plants, says Buddy Van Sigrid. I didn't know that you wanted me to. Groiper Bear gifted a 1-month subscription to You Know Moo. Congratulations, You Know Moo. Mo Better Stand Up gave a diamond and said, Maze and Earl need to make a baby soon for Nick's phone. I don't know what that means, but thank you guys. I appreciate that. Oh my gosh. El Finn says, smoking pot is anti-white and femoid energy. Beta. Yeah, we got to overcome the vices. Algorithm says, Hake, please unban me from D Live. And he's complaining about one of our mods banned him. Like a emotional, thirsty person. I don't know what to tell you guys. All right. Don't bother me with it. I basically trust the mods. If the mods can unban you, I don't know. If I think of it, I'll do it. But you guys got to learn to not cross them. Don't cross them. Oh, man. Salazam is starting to get aggressive. Salazam plays too rough, right? For the people, for the mods. I have a live chat in like on D Live and YouTube and these other, and Periscope and elsewhere. And sometimes the mods may be over aggressive. And some of them disagree with the fact that I modded Dark Side of the Bear what? But she's always there, and she catches, like, sometimes people try to put pornography and stuff like that. And so I went ahead and modded her. Right on. It's not a leadership position, it's just it's a job. And it's unpaid. Anyways, Adam Clark says, Owen Shrouded, probably Schroyer, did a video showing how masks are really dangerous. The carbon dioxide levels were so high, it maxed out the carbon dioxide meter. Crazy, huh? That is interesting. Yeah, I mean, I believe it. It's not necessarily good for you. John X15 says, if only abortion were retroactive. No, man, I'm not supportive of abortion. Or if you could reverse abortions, that would be nice. Jamie Winnie gave support. Thank you very much. Family 53511 says, I support Hake. And Lock Your Door says, la, la, la. And thank you, Lock Your Door. I did get your text message. I will pass that along. Jamie Winnie says, Earl is making crap up as he go along. He needs to take a European history class. There was slaves all over the world and Frenches are white. SOBC gave his super chat of support, and Lord Nikon says, agree, the mods are out of control, especially one person. And that may be. And knowing that, kind of like YouTube and Twitter and stuff are out of control too, you behave a little differently, right? Mods, let me know if any of them are a little out of control. If they're overbearing. Don't be overbearing, mods. I don't want it to be unfair, right? But, if you, say you get modded, right? Say you get timed out or something. And I can understand that can be annoying. But you're supposed to overcome your anger and not say, why was I banned? Because that's more likely to get a mod to pay the kind of attention that you don't want to have, right? Which means get modded again. So you guys know that. I know that. It's common sense. So let me know, mods. Let me know, mods. Send me an email or something because I miss the chat sometimes. So be cool, mods. Anyways, I got to get to some callers. Billy out of Texas. Oh, shoot. Billy, how are you doing?
I thought you hung up on me for a minute.
I know, crazy, huh? Psych.
Man, what's the deal with you saying that you're a cheerleader for homosexuals?
I never said that. Yesterday. What's the deal with you lying, Billy?
I'm not lying.
Yes, you are.
Man, it's on tape. You said sometimes you can't bake that cake, but sometimes you got to be a cheerleader for the gays.
I never said sometimes you have to be a cheerleader for the gays. Sometimes you bake the cake and take the sinner's money and use it for good. You're not an honest person, Billy, and you're not objective.
You said you used the word cheerleader.
I never said cheerleader.
Yes, you did.
No, I didn't.
You said sometimes you
No,
have to
I
be a
didn't.
cheerleader. Yeah, you're the one lying, man. It's on tape. I mean,
It
you
may be
film
on. It
yourself
may be on
lying
tape.
and then
It's not what I said.
And when you interviewed,
I think you need to apologize, Billy. You've been lying about
you
me.
need to apologize for saying that that I'm the type of person that would want to see physical harm come to you for wearing a shirt. That's what you need to apologize
No,
for.
no. Hold on.
You didn't say it, right?
You pretended, you acted like it was justified for me to go into the hood. You told me go into the hood with that shirt. Did you not say that? Did you not say that? And
I would.
You
Yes,
claim
I said that.
You claim that you claim that you would, but you're calling me a Democrat shill for wearing the beautiful Confederate flag on my T-shirt.
That's not why I called you a Democrat shill. You need to get your story straight, man. You're like the biggest liar on YouTube, and there's some liars on there. You interviewed Voss.
Billy, it's interesting
You're not
how
gonna let me
how
go there, are
no
you?
no no
You're
hold
scared.
on. It's interesting what a sleazy liar you are, and yet you sound like a Southern man. Crazy.
I think you get scared when people call you look scared. But anyway,
That doesn't have anything to do with you being a sleazy liar, Billy.
When you I've watched a couple of your deals where you're talking to Voss, the dude that he says he has sex with men and women, and I mean,
if you get vulgar, I'm hanging up on you, Billy.
I'm not.
How come you're so into why are you so into the homosexuals, Billy? What's your
Why
issue?
are you 38 years old and you live with another man in your apartment there?
It's called
Voss?
sharing rent, Billy.
Your roommate,
and it's not an
Voss,
apartment, Billy. I gotta hang up on him. He's getting crazy. Hake is worried, says Flat Earth destroys the slave matrix, who's another mentally ill person. Yes, I'm concerned that he's gonna get too vulgar. Billy's a really nasty person. Anyways, let me get to Jonathan out of San Diego, California. Jonathan, first-time caller.
Hey.
What's up?
Yeah. Hey, what's up, Hake?
Not much.
Hey, I'm calling because there's this story that's been suppressed. I'm saying it's been suppressed because you haven't been hearing none of it in the mainstream media.
Uh-huh.
And it's of this soldier from Fort Hood, Texas, who was murdered. She went missing about a couple months ago, and they finally found her body about a week ago.
I saw some headline about something like that.
Yeah, her name was Vanessa Guillen, and the Hispanic community, I'm Hispanic, so I've been hearing all kinds of stuff about it. But the Hispanic community is really outraged by it. And it turns out, though, that she was murdered by her black lieutenant.
Wow.
And he ended up committing suicide when the police went to approach him. He killed himself then and there.
That is crazy.
And not only that, but then it turns out that this other white lesbian was involved too, who helped get rid of the body. At least I think she's lesbian because she looks like one of those crazy orange-haired females.
Right. Yeah.
But I'm just saying that for me, my theory is that the reason the mainstream media isn't covering it is because of the fact that a black guy killed her, and right now the blacks can't do any wrong, And
maybe so, yeah. I'll have to look into that story. I don't know anything about it. Was there any kind of rape or anything anything?
She was accusing, I think, the lieutenant of sexual harassment or sexual assault, and so that's where it all hinged from. That after that is when she disappeared.
See, this is part of the problem with putting women in the military and all this, and all these lesbians and homosexuals and transgenders, because they have this false version of morality where, free love. It's not free once you guys start getting, and these people having sex out of wedlock.
Yeah.
It's not free and happy and easy once there's a conflict. The emotions are heightened once there's a conflict after the sex. And there's all kinds of accusations that fly around. And people are really, really evil towards each other. And that's where murders happen and all kinds of stuff.
Yep.
And we don't need that in the military. We need morality.
Yeah. And I just thought it'd be interesting to bring attention to it on the show. But, I got to run. I'm working right now.
All right. Thank you, Jonathan. Appreciate it, man.
Yeah, thank you. Have a good one.
All right. You as well.
Bye.
Crazy. Let me get to Ian out of Martinez, California. Ian, how are you doing?
The Hake Report.
Nice. Hey, Ian, before you get to your topic, I was reading about there's been like a lot of shenanigans going on in Martinez, California, up where you are. And there have been supposedly white supremacist flyers, and the officials who are not looking out for the community are drumming it up, I guess, to get in the news, get their name out there, pretending like it's a real threat. And they're calling hate crimes on the people that painted over the sign, I guess because it's a violation of Black Lives Matter's First Amendment right to paint on the street with a permit. And there's like all kinds of accusations flying against the whites. Are any of the whites, I would say that those whites who were trying to paint over that Black Lives Matter thing, they weren't totally self-controlled people. They didn't seem to be. Are the whites going a little out of control? Or is it all on the side of the POCs and the liberals over drumming up what's going on?
Yeah, they're over drumming it.
Yeah.
They're over drumming it. So, yeah, I told you I'd keep you posted, but I got to correct you from the other day. I think it was yesterday we talked. That you asked if that guy was me, but you met me. You met me at the men's forum.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I've seen you in church, I think, maybe. I feel like. And definitely at the men's forum. That's the only place?
Men's forum last week.
Yeah. No, yeah. I was like, I know. I'm like, that doesn't look like him. But I did ask if it was you. I asked if the dude who was standing up for what's right. It was nice. It was almost like he listens to the Jesse Lee Peterson show. Because he was saying that Black Lives Matter, the narrative of oppression and racism, it's a lie. And that's so true. He's right about that.
Yeah, who knows? He might. I'm still looking for him.
Yeah, he faces a year. He faces how much time in jail? Maybe a year or something. Hopefully they won't get any jail time. But
yeah, they got charged with 3 different charges. And guess what color the district attorney is?
Oh, you know what? I haven't looked up what she looks like. Is that Diana Becton?
Yeah, she's black.
No wonder she's kissing up to, oh my gosh, and a short-haired black woman at that. What the heck?
Yeah.
I'll give you some pictures, Joel. Go on.
I don't have confirmation on the white supremacist recruiting.
Yeah.
Like flyers. But
right.
I did find out who. Check this out, dude. You're gonna love this. I did find out who got the permit from the city. Old neighbor.
An old neighbor of yours?
Yeah, as in shared a fence with the guy. Before I moved into the place that I live in now.
Wow.
My old place. Yeah. Guess what, dude? 100%. This guy's 100% Filipino. His parents are immigrants. They immigrated from the Philippines to here.
Is he straight?
Is
he straight?
Yeah, he's got a white wife, dude.
Wow, and he supports Black Lives Matter, the lies of Black Lives Matter.
They have 2 kids. They would play with my daughter, and then used to play like right out front, right outside, on the street.
Wow, that's crazy. And he's the one who got the permit to put Black Lives Matter on the street. There's the pictures of the DA. There's a picture of the DA, by the way. That's Diana Becton. And she said, by the way, just to interrupt you briefly, we must address the root and byproduct of systemic racism in our country. That's this woman saying that. The Black Lives Matter movement is an important civil rights cause that deserves all of our attention. The mural completed last weekend was a peaceful and powerful way to communicate the importance of Black lives. Lie. We must continue to elevate these discussions and actually listen to one another. She's a liar. To heal our community and country. BLM is not healing anyone. It's It is promoting anger. It is killing the souls of black people, as Jesse Lee Peterson has said. Anyways, man, your neighbor is the one who, I'm not that surprised, honestly, if I stop and think about it, because most people are. I wonder if he's educated. If he is, then of course he's going to be all the more liberal and off the deep end. And if he's not, even if he's not educated, those Asians, Filipinos, married to white women, they are like artistic, creative, And so, of course, they would have this big, huge design, this big, huge, and measure it, right, and plan it to span a block, Black Lives Matter, in huge yellow words, spanning a whole block that the courthouse takes up, right on the street, right in front of the courthouse. Wow, imagine the symbol of injustice that is. That's a symbol of injustice against America, against whites, against the justice system, because BLM, even to this day, they're pretending that Michael Brown was murdered. That's not justice. They should believe an innocent unless proven guilty. And Officer Darren Wilson, it was shown he acted in self-defense. So yeah, I'm not surprised about your Filipino neighbor being the one that got the permit. All responsible. Responsible for evil. It's crazy, man. What do you say, Ian? Are you there?
Yeah, bro. Unbelievable, dude. 100% Filipino. His wife is white. They have 2 half-breeds. Their kids are mixed.
Right.
And he has a resist flag on his outside of his house, on the side of his house.
Talk about not being the leader of your family. He's leading them into hell. That's a disgrace, man. It's funny. You said half-breeds. People are like, oh, that sounds so hateful. People are not used to hearing whites speak frankly. They're used to hearing blacks speak frankly. They're used to hearing Hispanics and even Asians speak frankly. Because there's this caller from the South, Tennessee, who referred to porch animals, right? Over when she moved to Wisconsin. And she's talking about saying the N-word and stuff like that. That was just the way that they speak down there. It's not racist, but people think that that's racist to say half-breeds and N-word and all that stuff. But that's just how they talk. It's not racist. It's just whites. It's just old school whites who have the old school freedom of speech. It's crazy. And I say that's just how they talk. That's kind of a reference to the Trayvon Martin incident, where Cupcake, I guess, Trayvon's supposed girlfriend, said that, I think she's the one who said it, I don't know, said that Trayvon referred to George Zimmerman, who was following him, the Neighborhood Watch over in Florida, as a creepy A cracker. A creepy A cracker. And that's a racial term, right? But it's not racist. Yeah. And she said it's not racist, it's just how we talk. And so everybody knows to give the blacks some slack. Why not give the whites some slack for how they talk? It's crazy. Anyways, go on. You were talking about that family is led by a man who supports the resistance against America's greatest ally, President Trump. Our greatest ally who's in the government. The rest of them are enemies of the government. I mean, the enemies of Americans. The government, that is. The politicians. It's crazy, man. So did you ever used to talk with him, this Filipino guy?
No, when I was living there, I kind of had a feeling about him, like, on the wrong side. I kind of had a feeling.
Yeah.
He was leaning to the left, and then one day I saw that resist flag. He put that resist flag up there, and he didn't have it there. He didn't have it posted when I first moved in there. But then I moved in there, and then I looked at it. One day. I was like, resist. At the time I didn't know what it meant.
Right.
But I know what it is now.
Yeah.
And we never got into it. We were cool as far as neighbors being neighborly. We never really got into it.
Right.
And I never engaged in a conversation with me. He never engaged in a conversation with me, but I'm sure he saw the stickers on the back of my car. I got a couple, I got a Trump sticker. I got a Uncle Sam wants you to speak English sticker.
Nice.
I got a Marine Corps sticker on the back of my car. So
that's cool, man.
I was there. If he wanted to engage a conversation, I was there.
Right. No, they're
right
cowards. Man, are you from that area, NorCal?
No, originally, yes. I'm from Nevada, but I'm not from Martinez.
Okay. All right. Interesting, man.
Yeah.
Well, I appreciate the update. That's very interesting insider information. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'll keep you. I'll still keep you in the loop.
Cool. All right. Take care, Ian. It's good to hear from you, man.
Yeah. Thanks, Hake.
All right. So, China is making the news again. You know how Hong Kong, they've been supposedly fighting for supposed democracy, right? And democracy is kind of communism. when it comes down to it, especially when the people are immoral. But they want freedom from independence from China, right? Well, they made a new law, and now people are getting arrested for abetting subversion and secession and all kinds of stuff, inciting and abetting, right? And these Hong Kong people, because they passed some crazy law where they can crack down on the protesters who want to be breaking away from China. And Taiwan is scared that they're next. Taiwan asserts that they're a unique country, independent of China. China claims that Taiwan is part of China. And, I tend to be for people who want to be independent. They have the right to be independent. But you have to be able to fight off the people that want to rule over you. Just like here in America. We have to be able to fight off the people who are trying to take over America. And then hopefully it doesn't resort to physical fighting. And it's not going to be good if it does. It's not good right now. We have to continue to have the spirit of the freedom of speech, allowing the whites to speak their mind, and not being disgusting. So, but Taiwan, there's all of this political posturing, and then I will get to Louis and the rest of you guys. All this political posturing by the rhinos in the government, talking about, China is so oppressive. I don't fall for their posturing, because they're the kind of people that would want to bring those Chinese people who want to be free, the Hong Kong, the Taiwanese who want to be free, over here. And we don't want them over here. Look at the people that they elected. There is a woman named, it's a bunch of Chinese characters or Taiwanese characters, Joel. This is the woman who was elected the president of Taiwan, named Tsai, Tsai, Ing-Wen, Tsai Ing-Wen. This woman is part of a party called the Democratic Progressive Party, DPP. Does that sound like a party that you would want people who come here to support? No. This woman, doesn't want China to rule over Taiwan. That part I'm fine with. You can not want China to rule over you, but the Democratic Progressive Party, I have known some Taiwanese people, and they are liberals. We don't need these people coming here. If anything, we need white Christian South Africans who support what's right. If we need any refugees, I got to bring I may bring on Clip Cop or somebody to talk about what's going on in South Africa. It's crazy. Martinez, California is only 3.6%, quote unquote, African American. LOL, says Mo Better Stand Up. Interesting. Mo Betta Stand Up says, careful, Hake, calling somebody a sleazy liar is considered anti-Semitic these days. Is Billy? Anyways, whatever. But thank you for the warning. I'm opening the treasure chest, guys. Hong Kong protests are pro-LGBTQ. Number one issue, says Asmodor. Whoa. Not good. Not good. Yeah, I don't trust these people. Earl would smoke it all, says Buddy Van Cigarette. I don't know. Earl, I gotta ask him. I don't accept that charge against Earl. I don't think that he smokes pot. I think he's really, truly just that deluded, even when, quote unquote, sober. He's high on his own hatred. Because people can be that way. And all the knowledge that they gain up, cherry-picked knowledge, quote unquote knowledge. I need workers on my pot plantation, but I'm afraid, says Buddy Van Cigarette. Don't be advertising that on my show. Anyways, congratulations to the treasure chest winners, and thank you to Mo Betta Stand Up, Asmodor, Buddy Van Cigarette for the faithful support, and Groiper Bear and Dark Side of the Bear What, who supported me in becoming VP on D Live. Someone Get Bill, Based AF, America First, Noah's Ark, Kansas, Floshinsky, and hold on. And Goy 1M Defender. Appreciate you guys, man. Oh, Lord Nikon points out DJ Hardmouse is still muted on D Live. Yeah, DJ Hardmouse, sometimes too edgy for the mods. And the mods are pretty edgy accepting, right? But DJ Hardmouse, too edgy, man. But appreciate the support, DJ Hardmouse. Ryan HU says, Hake has good mods. Thank you, man. Appreciate that. Let me get to Louie out of Idaho. Louie, how are you doing? Good to hear from you.
Hey, how are you?
Fine. Thanks for holding.
Yeah, sure. Hey, listen, I'm just talking about the gays and the transgendered in the military.
Yeah.
What if they decide one day they're going to be the captain of everyone?
Right. You know it's... These are not justice-minded people. They're deluded into accepting something that's wrong as though it's something to be proud of. And then, so their whole mindset is a little slanted from the start. Most people in general have a slanted mindset, right? Because they just accept the evil. And this one is even more blatant because they're celebrating it as right. You shouldn't be celebrating vices and perversions. You should be quiet about them, have some shame, have some respect, and overcome them. Even if you can't overcome them, have some respect.
People never used to talk about sex.
Huh?
People never used to talk about sex, right?
Right.
Yeah.
It's crazy, man. Well, I appreciate you, man. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay. My son's a Marine.
Right on. So he has to deal with this politically correct mess.
He's going 8 months to South Carolina, getting 2 years off his military obligation.
Okay.
For that. And he wants to go full. He wants to be a lifer. I love him to death.
Right on, man.
Yeah, he's awesome.
Well, hopefully he can be a light in that dark world of people supposedly serving their country.
Because of the pandemic. I think the pandemic is false anyway. I think it's made up just to make Trump look bad.
Yeah, they want to.
Opinion.
I think that there are some sicknesses that happen to some of the people, but they are drumming it up. They're shutting stuff down when I don't think that they really need to be doing that. So they are trying to hurt America, hurt the businesses, and hurt Trump for sure, man. Appreciate you, Louie.
Thank you, man.
Take care. Wow. Another 2 hours down the drain. Or through the hoops. Earl might drink a little bit of Thunderbird, though, says Asmodor. Buddy Van Cigarette says, you read my comments backwards and out of context. I know, man, because I'm seeing them. I'm seeing the bottom ones first. I'm sorry. And he says, in the wrong order, rather. Need Earl to work the plantation, but he would smoke. All right, I got you, Buddy Van Cigarette. Don't be smoking pot. Don't be, anyways, you guys know. You guys know it all. By the way, Trump's niece is being a total mess. I've been meaning to mention this. She's an evil person. And pay her no mind. That's pretty much what I have to say about that. I may touch more on it. But anyways, this has been the Hake Report, thehakereport.com for my stuff, jesseleepeterson.com for his stuff, church and filing state you can find via that website as well. All right, guys, take care, and hopefully see you Sunday service premiere tonight on Bond Rebuilding the Man YouTube channel. Take care.